nation is now the ultimate power in the universe.
At last we will reveal ourselves.
I have a bad feeling about this.
You are now tuned into Lightsaber Radio. If you only knew the power of dark side.
Here it comes.
Let's go.
You are now tuned into Lightsaber Radio. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello there.
Welcome back to another exciting episode of Lightsaber Radio, where we're going to talk Bad Batch. We're going to talk news and rumors, and we actually catch a break today with Charlie's Impossible Quiz. A quick show note, our guest, we want to send out thoughts and prayers to our guest that was scheduled for today, Jordan. Jordan, hope you feel better, brother. Hello, everybody.
What's going on?
Hi.
Hello.
How is everybody's?
We're good. We're good. We're good.
Good
Ears
deal.
and hand gestures do not work on audio platforms.
Hey, I'm just practicing for when we're live, okay?
They really cannot see us. And
Okay, he can't help it. He's selling his soul in less than 3 weeks. Love you, Garrison's future wife.
We are so attacking that on his end. Like,
Hey,
oh
you
man,
gonna
you're
bring her
so
on the
screwed.
You gonna get her to come on the show?
Well, she's probably a Harry Potter fan instead of a Star Wars fan, so.
Huh?
No, she does like Star Wars. She impresses me.
Oh man, you're
Okay.
Pretty nice.
Okay, yeah.
Yo, she's so welcome then.
Okay, so we'll have a special guest from Garrison's honeymoon. There we go. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
No,
I'm sure she would love that.
we
Joking
talked
with
about
you.
this. Don't do it.
All right, so I hope everybody's doing good, feeling fine. It's a little bit hot here in the southeast, like it is all the way around the world. But let's just go ahead and jump into everything. This episode of Bad Batch this week was War Mantle, where some of the things that we mentioned in last week's episode finally start paying off some dividends, where we start getting some movement of the plot. And with that, I'm going to toss it over to whoever wants first. All right, CJ.
No, you don't gotta raise your
Okay,
hand.
yeah. You got to say something if you're going to raise your hand.
Hold on. I was trying to find a way to word this. I only watched it once, and I normally watch the episode 3 to 4 times to see if I could spot things and pick up things. But the biggest thing I want to talk about is Gregor. Okay, yeah, that too.
What was that voice?
Why? What's with?
Hey,
I understand it was in Rebels.
That was a good impression.
That really was.
Thank you.
I actually got to give him that. But we only see him once in the Clone Wars in season 5, and then now we get him again. Is he going to be more of a pivotal part coming into the Bad Batch, or is he going to go immediately to Rex?
Okay, wait a minute.
Well, do we want to
I'm
talk
just
about
saying,
the
like,
episode
does
before
he
we
have
start
something to
critiquing
do
it?
with Rex?
Do we want
him
to talk about what's actually happened before we start bashing it? Just saying. Anybody?
Okay. Let Mark give a quick rundown. You good at it.
Okay. So the Bad Batch are fully in their mode as mercenaries. They're on a job for Sid. They get a message from Rex saying that he needs help, that he needs to get one of his friends out of somewhere, and he is unable to do it because he's tied up. The Bad Batch is now sent to a planet called Darrow, where there's a secret Imperial installation. And we also find out that the troopers that we see in these white uniforms are no longer CCs. We have transitioned over to TKs. Hunter gets thrown down about half a side of a mountain, gets captured. Bad Batch get away with a Gregor, and now that's kind of the rundown on things. So, Charlie, go ahead.
So basically, Gregor was in the Rebels because him, Wolf, and Rex are all on this planet. They're hiding from the Empire. You know, they're doing their thing. They're catching these big worm things. And basically, that's where Rex and Wolf and Gregor. So,
But they're good eating.
But no, the thing is like I was trying to pull up is like we now we're getting that, like how Gregor came to Rex, and they, you know, are we going to get what I'm trying to get? What's trying to get at was like, okay, is he going to? Are they just going to send him to Rex, and then we're going to get an episode where we save Wolf too? Or that's what I was trying to get.
You're just looking for some tie-in between where we're at in the Empire getting started to where we actually get more information about him in Rebels, which is 15 years down the line.
Yeah, that I just want to see if they all if it ties in, like you said. Yeah, I just want to see if it ties in.
I've got a point here for you, CJ. Always trust the Filoni. He has a plan.
Oh yeah, I have never doubted that man a day since I started watching Clone Wars. I'm sorry, I just haven't. haven't.
No, you look like you were saying something, dude.
Me?
Or, well, okay, Charlie, I saw the wrong screen. That's on me. My bad. Go for it, Charlie.
It's fine. I loved this episode. It was nice to have something a little bit more fast-paced, a little bit more exciting. I will argue that the last couple of episodes have been a bit slow, have been a bit dragging. Omega being her adorable little manipulative self, right in there. We have to help. We have to go and get it sorted. Please, let's go. Also, she flew the ship. She helped save them. She flew the ship by herself. I'm so proud of her.
And she did a good job. Even when they were
She did
shooting at
a
her,
really good job.
they started shooting at her, and she was like, "Oh, what am I gonna do?" And then she got them away, and then what's his face took over because they.
I will wait a sec until everyone's had their say, but I have got a really good theory that I want to share with you guys. Go, Garrison,
Your thoughts, brother?
Yeah, I thought it was a flippin' awesome episode. It's had a lot faster pace than the ones we've seen recently. But oh my gosh, there was just so much going on. But I would never argue that there's too much going on. I don't know. That was awesome. I like having a lot of stuff. There's so much going on, and I loved how. Okay, I'm a guy that doesn't always like the happy ending, and I like how Hunter got captured. Don't get me wrong, I hate how he got captured, but like throughout this show, I've been like, oh, they're gonna save the day. Oh, everything's gonna work out. You just didn't want
the typical Disney ending,
right? And throughout the show, it's kind of felt a little bit like that, just because like, oh, I know it's gonna work out because I don't know. It's just the way it's been going.
The thing you have to consider, though, Garrison, is the Bad Batch doesn't survive. So, I mean, we have to have these moments where somebody's going to get captured.
Oh my God, spoilers.
Why are you going to be like that? Why? As a
he's right. People's going to get either captured or killed, Lama Suit, or there has to be tie-ups because the Empire, we have to feel that the Empire is coming down and crushing it. Right. Everyone, everything in every aspect. So, Garrison, you're dead on, dude.
And I thought they did a great job because I'm sorry. As soon as he jumped, I was like, oh, he's going to make it. No big deal. And then he fell. And I'm not kidding. My hands went like the Charlie gasp, like my hands covered my mouth. And I was like,
did anybody else feel like that their ribs were breaking? Did anybody else feel like their ribs were breaking every time he hit a tree branch, too?
Yeah.
I immediately thought of Rambo First Blood when he jumped from the cliff to the tree. That was my immediate thought.
Okay, dude, that movie's about 10 years before your time.
The dude fell like 900 yards or whatever. It was a grip, and he didn't get hurt. He was all right. He stood up, put his knife away, and was like, all right, I guess I'm captured.
For all of our gamer friends, I'd hate to see the damaged dice on that fall. But no, Kyle, you're exactly right. He stood up, which I guess speaks to the resiliency of the clones. But dang, CJ, what you got, dude?
Can we talk about Omega almost crying in the process of leaving Hunter?
She was under orders, though, dude.
Well, yeah, and she followed him, but you could just hear the pain in her voice
so much.
Well, she didn't follow them. She was like, go back.
Okay, she was made to follow them. Fair enough.
Clone Force 99, the rest of them, Wrecker and everybody, they left,
And they didn't want to, especially hearing Omega just like break down about it. Yeah, we all know. They all have a soft spot for the little girl, but it's just, I think that scene alone really got to me because it's just, you can see how attached those two are to each other.
Quick drop in here. We were all talking about last week about Omega starting to call in favors to help out the Bad Batch and things of this nature. Do we think that this might be the intro to that kind of prospect there?
Ooh,
okay,
I think we're gonna get Rex.
We helped out Rex. Now Rex is gonna come help us out. We're gonna get those two goofy dudes in Sid's bar coming to help out. Maybe maybe the one horned Deveronium because we spared him. Charlie, what do you think?
Does anybody want to theorize what, the hologram of Rex, the sort of message? What was that gear about? What was that robe? What was the hood?
He's a secret Jedi.
Okay, cool.
He's just trying to stay low key.
CJ, you got a theory on that?
Well, you gotta remember he was wearing that when he met up with Clone Force to get their inhibitor chips. That's his poncho with the hood on it.
Ah.
But I want to know, what is he doing? What is Rex doing?
Rex is
why is
somewhere fine.
He's probably with Bail Organa, Mon Mothma, and everybody because to try to start getting the rebellion to restore the alliance back together because he's one of the few people that are still loyal to the Republic.
Yeah,
that's what the rebellion is all about.
But still, I want to know, with him being
if you go back to Rebels, they are gone. My opinion of it is Rex is out there trying to save his brother. He's out there finding the other people, taking them to get their chips removed.
Do you think maybe he's getting Wolf?
He might be getting Wolf. He might be getting other people, because just because they popped up in Rebels doesn't mean that there's other clones, other places. They're just like the Jedi. You know, just because Order 66 happened doesn't mean that they killed every Jedi, because if they did, then Vader wouldn't have had to create the Inquisitors and do all the stuff to go find the rest of the Jedis and then start searching for a Force-sensitive kid.
So, Kyle, well, real quick right there, dude. If he's helping his brothers remove their inhibitor chips, are we going to see clones versus Stormtroop action from what you're saying?
I hope so.
Yes, sir.
Great.
And we're kind of seeing it at this point, you know, with the Bad Batch fighting the stormtroopers inside of that facility. Them guys
Take
were
your
not
weapons off stun, please.
No, I thought
They're
that
getting
was
shot.
beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah, it comes to, and I get like they didn't want to kill other like clones, but these aren't clones anymore, dude. Shoot them stormtroopers.
Oh.
Like,
Charlie,
come
what
on.
you thinking?
That's what I was going to say. I really enjoyed getting to see the kind of the Bad Batch at their best, like good fight choreography, kind of smart tactics. Also, correct me if I'm wrong, their weapons were all set to stun rather than kill.
That was why I was shouting what I was just a moment ago.
I apologize. I think my internet glitched, so I missed all I clocked back in and all I heard was shouting.
Yeah, well, what I was shouting was, get your weapons off of stun, please. But what to your point there, Charlie, it makes me wonder, did anybody catch the one phrase that Gregor had, the one good phrase, that he didn't teach them all of his tricks? We all know that stormtroopers from 1977 through this day can't shoot the ocean if they're standing on the pier, while the clones hit about everything that they shot at. CJ, help me out, dude.
I agree with that, and I love that part. But the thing I want to get at is when they're on the elevator, they're at the top, they open the door, they're ready to leave, and Hunter and Gregor kick those stormtroopers and shut the door, and they're like, yep, nope,
That was
sorry,
so good.
that ain't going.
Like you were saying.
I laughed so hard. It was like, for one, you have an elite commando. Is that an actual clone, or is that a...
Well, yeah, that's what CC stands for, Clone Commando.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. No, they already had the stormtroopers. Is that an actual commando, or is it just not a civilian, but a conscripted soldier in a commando armor because he tested out and has that eliteness about him?
What do you think, Charlie?
I'm so sorry. I'm going back to Omega because I love her to pieces. There's been a really, can you tell? There's been a really nice split in this episode of her being this kind of responsible adult and on the same level as her brothers. And yet you also saw her walking around the ship holding Wrecker's Tuca doll, Lula, because she's still a child. She still needs that comfort. She still feels that fear and that uncertainty. And I'm really enjoying this raging amount of character development that we're getting. And it's so satisfying.
It's too bad she's going to die in 2 episodes.
Stop.
Why?
Just saying. Because with everything that happened in this one episode, we're getting a lot of plot tie-ins, tie-ups, things like that. It's feeling like there's not going to be a season 2. Since nobody's mentioned it, I want to bring up something here. First of all, we all know that Lama Su is probably one dead Kaminoan, yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Here's my theory, because Rampart said that he wants scientists. Politicians are not needed. How does anybody think about the scientists, Nala Se, being taken away, being used by the Empire to continue cloning experiments for certain, emperors to further his dark and twisted live forever designs, or maybe create his own set of Jedi, maybe Grogu, Snoke. Do you think that maybe she had some plan in that? And before anybody says anything, if you go to Nala Se's Wikipedia page and look under her affiliations, it says that she's part of the Kaminoan government, the Galactic Republic, the Galactic Empire, and she was secretly part of the Sith Order.
What?
Yes. CJ, you look like you want to say something.
Yeah, so I want to also pull up, think about this. Where's Crosshair right now?
Not doing his job and hunting people down.
So think about this. They want scientists. What if they threaten to take her life and she reverts Crosshair and takes his chip out?
Ooh. But if she's secretly Sith, though, would she do that?
Well,
I don't think
you got to play the part to not die.
Well, this is the thing. And it's not in the nature of a Sith to be caring. And we know that she cares about Omega. So if she cares about Omega, it's not in her nature to care if she's a Sith. So I don't think she's a Sith. Then if you go and you get into some of the books, and this is all legends, but there was a lot left over after the destruction of Kamino and of the cloning empire, but there was a lot that was taken by the empire to help in the cloning process for certain reason and other scientists. One of the biggest biological weapons that was ever created was created by Kamino. Just because they're able to clone people, they can also clone bacteria, things like that, viruses. We know throughout the books anyway that there's been Kaminoans ventured into other things. And in some of the other books, Kaminoans are brought up into those books because of certain things that need to happen or that are going to happen. So we can't really look at it as if she was a Sith. She might have been the person that helped, and I have a feeling that that's the reason they brought this up, because then it'll explain Exegol and everything that's going on in Exegol.
Thank you.
That would explain that, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the rest of them ain't out doing different things and that some other things could have happened or whatever.
Well, but her specialty though was cloning though, so it'll be interesting to see how the story ties in.
Well,
Charlie, go ahead.
If you really look at it and you think about it, they took her away instead of killing her, and right now this is at the point that we all know, if we follow the storyline, that Palpatine clones himself. So you kind of just put 2 and 2 together and you get 4. She's probably the person that helped him clone himself.
That was my point. Yes, sir.
And then she is probably also the person that took her DNA and maybe his DNA and kind of made Snoke. Because if you look at Snoke looks like he's a hybrid of 2 different species.
And he's tallest. He's so damn tall in the movie.
Yeah. So I mean, even when you look at the bass that he's in when Ben comes in The Rise of Skywalker, the dude is huge. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking maybe, okay, let's make him, knowing Palpatine, he ain't gonna make somebody that's as powerful as he is, but he wants somebody that's pretty powerful. You take some Palpatine DNA, you take some of the Kaminoan DNA, you mix them together, you get the 2. You get a no. And
True.
So that's if you just follow the outcome, that's probably what it is. But until they bring us a little bit further within the story, we're not going to know. And I think that that's what Dave and them are doing. They're just leading up to the rest of the parts to kind of try to tie in that gap, because it was such a giant jump towards the Phantom Menace and Exegol and all that stuff. There was just this big jump that we have this big blank space, which is definitely a Star Wars thing, because George has done it to us a whole bunch of times, that there's these giant jumps that you're like, what happened in between that time, man? It just went from here and they blew up a Death Star, and 2 shows later they got another Death Star already. How did they have time to build this whole other Death Star? It was like, a few years.
Fair enough.
I think that's where they're taking us.
That's pretty fair, and you're kind of backing up my point there. Charlie, what were you thinking?
This is like completely in the opposite direction. My point was around Crosshair. What if this is probably completely wrong? What if this is just like a double cross? What if Crosshair is lying? What if he's in with the Empire to then go and rejoin the Bad Batch and save them and do one big rescue? I'm sure that's probably incorrect, but hey,
it's definitely a possibility.
Well, some ideas. Let's go.
Well, I mean, because there's never any double crossing in Star Wars. Never. Harrison, what are you thinking, dude?
No.
I think with the whole the Kaminoans thing going on with the Prime Minister getting killed and how the Empire is kind of totally turning on them, I think we'll see more clones kind of starting to rebel against the Empire. And if that means Crosshair too, maybe. Like I don't know if he's playing double agent, but him kind of changing sides, I could totally see that.
I want to circle back to that in a second.
I'm also curious to see what happens to Hunter now. Now that Hunter's back in custody, are they going to put a chip back in him, or are they gonna execute him? Are they just gonna keep him there? What's gonna happen with Hunter? I feel like something big. Either he's gonna get rescued really quick next episode, or something big. They got big plans.
CJ, what do you think, dude?
So I'm gonna state this. The senator, that kill was not confirmed. We did not see the senator die yet. I wanted to bring that up. It just cuts away with Mr. Filoni being the man that he is. He is very good at cliffhangers. If you think about it, it cuts away from the senator. Do we know if the senator dies, or are they waiting to see what happens with that?
Are you talking about Lama Su?
That's exactly what I was going to say. The same thing, because the door is closed. We don't ever see her get killed, or him, or whatever he is.
Yeah.
I think they're non-binary. I don't think they have.
And then
good job, Kyle. Very good job.
On top of that, another cliffhanger. The end of the episode. Very good. He likes to keep us on our toes. He did it with the senator in the episode. episode. He did it with Hunter and Crosshair at the end of the episode. And I love that he did this. He didn't give too much into depth. He didn't give a decent conversation. It was a quick, hey, and that was it. It was like, hey, just wait until next week. We're going to get into this. Like, that's just... I loved it.
I'm going to circle back real quick on something Garrison said. And we know that the Empire destroys Kamino. And we're all wondering how in the world all these clones can be saved and everything like this. What if, when the Empire destroys the Kaminoan flowing cities, that they accidentally destroy the computers that help control these clones and the inhibitor chips malfunction? Mass clone rebellion, maybe? Anybody?
Okay. Now this is a tricky thing right here. My personal thought is that, and I've stated this before, that I think that that's where they test the Death Star for the first time. They blow up Kamino, which would kill all the clones, because we do not know how long Palpatine has been creating the Death Star before any of this happened. When we come in, Tarkin and what's his face and Vader and all of them is there, but that doesn't mean that it hasn't been worked on for prior to that, because even if you go back to Rogue One and they're getting the plans, when you see the Death Star, it's like, dude, this thing has been getting built for a long time. This ain't no small little spaceship. This thing is huge. It took them a long time to build this, and when we first start seeing it in the movies and in the books, this thing is almost already complete. You know, there's just panels missing on the outside type stuff. So if you really look at it, it's like, dude, they could really, and I'm starting to go to this, that's where they test the Death Star and they just destroy all the clones. So if there's a clone on that planet, and from the thing, they called all the clones back to Kamino. If you go back to the very first the season, they called all the clones back, and then they started, they sent them out for certain things. It's only the clones that's off planet that I feel is going to survive. That's why we don't see a whole lot of clones in none of the other movies. It's all stormtroopers. We don't hear about the clones in Rebels as much as there's 3, 4. I think they ran across in Rebels. That's it. So I think they had to have them all in one place at one time to destroy that many of them. It's a whole giant army of clones. So
or what if the computers, if they go down, it fries the clone's brain and they die? That's be a
possibility too. But I think, it has to be something where they do like a mass extinction of the clones and there's only the people that survive. And that might even be more of a possibility, because if it kills the host, whoever has the chip in their head, and it kills the host, they can kill them from anywhere. They don't have to be on Kamino. Maybe the Palpatine has a button he just pushes and it just shocks their brain and they all drop dead.
Like Garrison says, a kill switch.
Yeah, so the people that don't have their chips in their head would be explained. So you got Wolf, you got Rex, you got Gregor, and you have the Clone Force 99. It would even kill the dude because his chip is still in his head. He just abandoned him, the dude with the kids. The rest of them just drop dead, and now the stormtroopers just take over. My thing is this: if you are in the universe and the Empire starts taking over, what the hell would make you want to go join their military to become a stormtrooper? Like, these are enlisted soldiers. Like, why would you go enlist?
Well, it's not enlisting, it's a conscription. They say, okay, you, and you, and we'll be back in 6 months for some more. It's more of a conscription. Like
Vietnam, then, what I'm saying? You're drafted.
There you go. Exactly. CJ.
Biggest thing is with the chips, it's an order. It's an inhibitor chip that is implanted in your brain that causes you to follow orders. I don't think there's a computer that can control that.
Have you seen Terminator? Have you seen
two different universes, Mark? 2 different universes.
Come on, the Matrix. We're all part of the computer.
We're staying in this.
Well, it's an inhibitor chip, so it's a computer chip in their brains. So it has to be something, a computer controlling that chip. It would have to be a computer.
Well, I mean, what do computers run off of, though? What do computers run off of? Electricity. Okay, you send a surge through it and you fry the brain, literally.
But how are you? I'm not going to get into that.
That's biology, my dude.
To me, yeah, it is. But to me, that didn't kind of really make sense. But it does at the same time, I guess. But
Garrison, what do you think?
I'm in the middle because, I can see where you guys are coming from. But at the same time, with the chip thing, is like,
okay, well, I don't want you to do this, but as a hypothetical, go stick your finger in a light socket. What's going to happen?
No,
that's what's in their head.
Don't encourage me to do things that I know I'm going to do.
I said I don't want you to do this, but what if you did it? That's what's in their head, dude. Garrison, talk to me, dude.
I can almost see like an Avengers Infinity War thing kind of happening, where boom, all of a sudden they're all dead. What happened?
No, it was just the way you said it. It made me chuckle. Just boom, all dead, gone.
I don't know. Like, they've done it in shows before. But then again, I don't know how theatrical that's going to be. I think something with like the Death Star, having all the clones in one place, I think that's going to be a lot more worthy of a death. I think it's a lot more tying in kind of what I think a lot of fans might want to see.
I know that we've been talking about this whole Death Star idea, but something just kind of keeps bugging me about that. Tarkin in episode 4 keeps saying that Tatooine is too remote to be an effective demonstration of this station's capabilities. I don't know that the Death Star would have been the thing to kill the Kaminoans. I mean, sorry, they've got a whole fleet of Star Destroyers that can just rain down fire on floating cities. You blow up the generators that keep them afloat, they sink to the bottom of the ocean, boom, done. They're all dead.
It's a possibility
That's
too.
fair.
I mean, there's multiple different outcomes of the way it could happen. I'm just saying because the planet was stricken from the Jedi archives. Nobody knows it is there. Then you have, and we were kind of under the impression that it was either Dooku or Cypher Dyas that deleted it out of the archives. I'm thinking more Dooku.
I'm thinking Palpatine.
Well, Palpatine, why would Palpatine be in the Palpatine can't just go walk into the Jedi Council or the Jedi
in several of the comics,
changing.
In several of the comics, he confirmed that it's not the first time he's been inside the Jedi Temple.
Yeah, he's been there, but he can't just go into the Jedi archives and start changing stuff. He's not a Jedi. You have to be a Jedi to do that.
Oh.
So the two people that are Jedis that were Jedis that became Sith was Cypher Dyas and Palpatine. And Count Dooku. I'm thinking Count Dooku because it's never actually even proven that Cypher Dyas became a thing. I think they captured him and then Dooku went to the Kaminoans and, said, I'm the...
What did he do? Maybe lop off Cypher Dyas' hand to put it on the panel to open the door?
Well, Dooku could have done it.
Well, but the thing is Dooku, after he left the Jedi Order, that restricted his access. I mean, look at what happened with Ahsoka. Once she was dismissed from the Jedi Order and tried to be invited back, whatever, all of her command codes, all of her Jedi abilities or Jedi privileges was revoked. So I'm thinking that the same thing would have happened to Dooku, though.
Yeah, but we don't know how long that Palpatine was working on Dooku.
That's fair. Because
Garrett, you gotta look at, he worked on Anakin for freaking 20 years. You know what I'm saying? So before he got him to convert to the dark side. So we don't know how long he was working on. That might have been the reason that Dooku left the temple. We don't know. It's never explained even in the Count Dooku books. It doesn't explain exactly what happened. He just wanted to leave and he left because they kind of explained it. He wanted to go back to a family, but that could be a ruse to the situation. We don't know for a fact how long Palpatine was working on Dooku to make him his new apprentice. So he could have still been a Jedi and went in there and did it for Palpatine long before this ever happened. We do know somebody took it out of the archive. That we do know that the Death Star was built in a remote part of the universe that nobody knew about because nobody knew they was building this giant thing. And then all of a sudden, here comes this moon floating through space and starts blowing up planets. We don't know to a final extent of how it happened. That's my theory that they blew up Kamino with it. It could be they could have used a bunch of Star Destroyers. They could have been the chips, and then they just sent down the stormtroopers to kill the rest of the Kaminoans. We don't know what the situation is, and I think that's where Dave and them is leading us to fill in some of these gaps that we're just theorizing at this point.
That's fair. Garrison, what are you thinking, dude?
I think whether it be the Death Star or not, whether it be, raining down fire and where they all drown on Kamino or something, I think we're going to get one of those final scenes where, you see kind of all the clones together realizing that they're going to die, kind of like how Rogue One ended or how Titanic ended, all these people together looking at each other knowing like this is the end. I can just kind of see that happening at the end of this show. And as much as it scares me, I feel like it's a good way to say goodbye to these characters that we've loved so much for so long.
My clone will go on forever.
Yes.
DJ, help me out, dude. I'm drowning.
I can see this. Had to come in swinging. Okay, so what we forgot, calm down, Gregor, we get it. What we didn't pull up is the clones being taken off Kamino, the children.
That was terrifying.
Did we forget about this? They are taking clones off of Kamino.
Wait,
how many? We don't know. Hold on. How many? We don't know. Why? Don't know.
Well, all
what
of them.
What are they going to do?
All of them.
Don't know.
We knew how many. All of them, because there was a specific line in there that says all the clones must be mobilized to be taken off world.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about immediately. I'm talking about why are they immediately taking the children first? Where are you taking them? Are you going to do what you did to the Wookiees and put them on a planet and make them work for the rest of their lives? Like, what is your deal, Empire? Where are you getting at? What are you doing? I want to know exactly what they're going to do. Am I going to have to wait for that?
They're taking them to the Jedi Temple for round 2. Charlie, what do you think?
Jedi Temple for round 2? I don't think so. I don't know.
But Nala say, what are we going to do?
Darth Vader practice.
Right.
Much. So I can cope with the fact that all of the adult clones look identical. I'm sorry, but 6 identical clone children in a little group together, nightmare fuel. Absolutely terrifying. I found it really unsettling.
You've been watching too much Children of the Corn.
I have a little bit, I think so.
So have we beat this? Have we beat War Mantle into the ground?
I think we really well and truly have stripped the bone.
Indeed. Does anybody have anything else that we missed?
Oh, yes. On the ship, I want to say something real fast. On the ship, when Rex is just leaning back and it's like, yeah, I'm just preparing.
You mean Rika?
Rika?
Rika
Wow,
was prepared.
Charlie, that was dead on. Holy cow, that was beautiful.
By the way, R.I.P. Gronky.
Oh, Gronky.
Omega will fix him.
Okay, so we have pretty much stripped War Mantle to the bone. Does anybody have anything else? Going once,
sure. One last thing.
Go for it.
Go.
Sorry. So just back to Kyle's point about how they're even getting soldiers. I think at the beginning they could be getting soldiers just because the war is still fresh in everyone's mind, and you could get propaganda going. We're like, hey, keep the Republic or keep us safe. You know, we just got off this war. Let's try to keep us safe. But I think I'm excited to see kind of the transition where you see the Empire coming in and really twisting people's arms, either forcing people to conscription or.
There's a famous quote, though. There's a famous quote that says, "He who sacrifices freedom for security deserves neither."
Oh, I agree. But I think you're going to see them transition to like twisting people's arms.
Fair
where,
enough.
you know what I mean? If you don't do it, because we see even in Rogue One how they forced him to come help them build the Death Star. You're either going to see that, or you're going to see like that's the only way that they can have a somewhat decent life under the Empire is if they join them.
Fair enough. CJ, you got the last word on this, brother.
So in the beginning of the season, I'm going to go off what Garrison said about the propaganda. In the beginning of the season, we saw the propaganda. We saw this with the exchanging credits. Help the Empire build. Turn in your old credits and get Imperial credits. What if they're doing the exact same thing? Join the Empire, like in Solo, join the Empire, be what you want to be in the Empire.
So in other words, we need a Emperor Palpatine face with an old wrinkled hand pointing at it like the U.S. Uncle Sam.
I want you to join the Empire.
I want you to do it.
Do it.
Yes. And for our friends in the UK,
I want you to brew it.
Brewing the tea.
Wow.
No. Okay, well, had to have a little fun there.
It was a shot.
That was fun. All that was fun. But now it is time for news and rumors. Who's got something first? Okay, don't everybody raise your hands. Come on. Somebody's got something on toys or game. Okay, come on, Charlie. What you got?
I'll go first. I'll admit it's been a relatively slow week for me in terms of Star Wars news, but as many of you'll remember, Luke Skywalker made an unexpected appearance in the last season of Mandalorian, and their deep faking of Mark Hamill's face was, I'll say, somewhat criticised by the fan base. We'll put that lightly, somewhat criticised. And about a week or so later, a YouTuber named Shamuk proceeded to do that again with his own deepfake technology using his own computer. It went viral. As of a few days ago, he announced that he's been hired by Lucasfilms, Industrial Light and Magic company, to work with Disney and work with their deepfake and AI departments, which I think is so fantastic.
So Disney now we can actually have Solo 2 with a correct Solo.
Yes.
Okay.
We're getting
Alden Ehrenreich alone.
We're getting actual talented creators from outside of kind of those like sort of hierarchical circles of Disney being brought in, and I think that's so brilliant.
Indeed. CJ, you look like you got something, dude.
Leave Alden Ehrenreich alone. He did great for starters. Go Solo
PJ
2.
has some thoughts and feelings.
I'm sorry, I'm a big Han Solo fan, and I thought Alden did great. There's obviously poorly executed. You can't put a Star Wars movie in the same week as a Marvel movie. That was kind of Disney's fault, but just saying, he did great. On top of that, I watched that deepfake video of him doing that. It went from being kind of a Sebastian Stan looking knockoff to a Mark Hamill. Like his deepfake literally made like, that's all right, to holy crap, is that really Mark Hamill? Like it was that good in the video. And the fact that ILM and Disney and Lucasfilm were like, yeah, we want this guy. We screwed up. Bring him in. Call him up. Come on. Let's give him a job. He's set for life. Come on.
And good for that guy, man. Like that's so cool that people recognize his talents and that he's able to, that's just so great. That's awesome.
Especially by ILM themselves, the big name in that kind of technology and technology in general for movies. The fact that ILM was like, bring him in.
There's a guy on TikTok that is literally doing a TikTok video a day, swinging his lightsaber until Disney hires him. And he's been doing it for like 200 days already.
We love that dedication.
It's like, dude, if he keeps on going, he's going to get it on Star Wars. And it's going to be like, dude, see what dedication will get you? You're dedicated to something. You can get
being
something.
An inquisitor.
Why do you think
we'll post a podcast every week until we're...
Hey, Charlie got to be Daisy Ridley's stunt woman.
Yeah, exactly. Why do you, that's why I'm trying to push.
That would be crazy.
Actually, here you go. Star Wars 10, Clone Wars Returns. Our very own Charlie could be Rey's clone.
Yeah.
I'd vibe. That would work. It'd be
there
good.
You go. So what else in news, rumors, toys, games, anything?
So
CJ.
I guess...
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, let's let Kyle go. I do Hasbro first all the time.
So I guess Lucasfilms reportedly wants the Russo brothers to direct a Star Wars movie. This is rumored.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, the Russo brothers, that's big news right there if they hire them to do Star Wars movies. Them guys are excellent. Captain America and Winter Soldier, that was a dope movie. I mean, the special effects and stuff in that movie was just, they're great directors.
So in other words, we won't have an Abrams and He Who Shall Not Be Named type sequence with them going, right?
Well, if the Russo brothers are doing it. I mean, they had Sebastian Stan and now I forgot his name, who played Captain America, Chris Evans. They had them actually do that knife fight scene in the movie with the shield and the knife when they're doing hand to hand. The Russo brothers were like, if you guys really feel like you can do it, do it. And Sebastian Stan and Chris Evans trained for weeks on end to get that fight sequence out. That was all them. That was not stunt doubles. And the fact that the Russo brothers are willing to give people that creativeness to be able to go and learn it themselves and do it live action, I think with that kind of mindset, it will better the movies and overall.
Fair enough. I have one quick thing about a person that has been confirmed to be on the new Andor series by the name of Fiona Shaw. Listeners might know her as Aunt Petunia from the Harry Potter series. And the fact that she gives a less than confident answer about her being in Andor. Did anybody happen to see this Instagram post?
Yeah, I saw it.
It was, she was extremely confused is not a good word, maybe ambiguous, because you could tell that she was definitely walking a tightrope with what she felt that like she could say, but she came across as somewhat...
Like she didn't even know what the show was about.
Exactly right. I could not have put it better myself. Thank you. So for any listeners that want to see that nice little interview, go and find it. You can find it everywhere. And then you'll see that we're not so sure that she's entirely Star Warsy. just my take. Anybody else want to build on that?
Is anybody ever sure though? Think about it. How do you know what you're doing? Like the lady that plays Fennec Shan, I can't remember her name. I'm not gonna butcher it. She's Mulan. I'm just gonna call her Mulan because she was Mulan first. I'm sorry.
Hey, at least we stayed in Disney, okay? At least we stayed in the Disneyverse, okay?
But she didn't even know she was recording episodes.
I know. I think that's hilarious.
So I think Disney's really good about that, and I think genuinely, Petunia here didn't even know what she was doing either. She could have been like, "Why is there stormtroopers? Like, what set am I on? what do you need me to do here? Like, I can completely see that.
I don't see any wands around. What's up?
Where's
Just a
Harry at?
crossover.
Kyle, what are you thinking, brother?
She's a decent actor. I mean, I don't see her having a very big role in it. I think she's going to have a very minor role.
Well, she did a hell of a job playing a shrewish muggle, but, for Star Wars?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't see her doing a major role. I'm thinking that she'll probably be in there as, something minute to cook or something like that, to just give some advice, or something like that. I don't see.
Hey, Dex is our only cook in this universe.
Thank you. I want that Hasbro toy. By the way. I need to make that one.
But Kyle, I believe you're right, because on IMDb, she's credited with being in one episode of Andor.
Yeah, I just don't see her doing a major role. I mean, she might do a major role in that episode, but I don't think that she's going to be a main casted character or anything. I just don't think that she has the credibility in acting to get her a major role. That's just my opinion. That could change. She's not a very good actor, in my opinion.
Fair enough. CJ, you said you had something about toys, dude.
Yes, I do. So,
hey, they're not toys. They are action figures.
No, as my dad would mess with me and say, they're dolls. No, they are action figures. They are action figures. They do actions. Dolls don't have actions. They can move their arm side to side and up and down. Action figures, you can bend, twist, put things in their hands, take their helmet off, you name it.
Okay, sounds like you've had this debate more than once.
Oh, yes. My mother...
And Kyle, for our podcast listeners, Kyle is pointing to his Darth Maul action figure that is resting on his microphone. Action figures, my bad.
I have Rex in my hand. Rex is my guy.
Okay, that's a little too personal, but what else you got?
For the listeners...
Is that what you call them?
Sound like my dad right now. This is not fair. I didn't do this for the flashbacks. Okay, no. The biggest thing is Marc actually sent me this file, and I appreciate Marc for this. Is new glow-in-the-dark Star Wars Hot Toys Cost Babies. They are literally, I'm going to say this, and just because I think Funko is a lot better, they look like knockoff Funkos.
Well, they do look like knockoff Funkos, but dude, you can find your Vader in the dark, or in your case, your Rex in the dark.
Well, I'm going to say this right now. Funko did it first.
But they don't do glow in the dark.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
They
have a whole glow in the dark series.
My apologies.
Don't talk to me about Funko.
I must have missed that.
I'm with Charlie on this one.
I must have missed that. I must have missed that aisle at Toys R Us. My bad. Rip Toys R Us.
We don't have Toys R Us anymore. Why?
That's why I just said Rip Toys R Us, because it was the joke. Go on, mine. Leave it off.
And then the Mandalorian receives new Jumbo Kenner Gentle Giant figures. And it is a 12-inch tall Mandalorian figure with his Beskar armor by Kenner. And if anybody knows anything about Kenner...
For our podcast listeners, CJ looks like he's going to cry.
Just because I can go buy it and give it to my niece, and my niece will literally be the happiest little girl in the world. I bought her 2 lightsabers and she lost her mind and wanted to fight me instantly. She's 3.
You have raised her well.
Yeah. My brother likes Harry Potter more. Back on that subject real quick. Yeah, it's BS, but that's fine. But from looking at it, it looks great. It literally looks like a child-friendly toy, because these little action figures have little tiny pieces, and they have an age rating. But with this looks like I can hand it to a 2 to 3 year old, and they can run around the house and play with it, and I don't have to worry about them shoving a small little piece that goes on them in their mouth and then choking on it. Choking hazards have been a big thing with toys forever now. And Kenner,
action figures.
That's what I said, didn't I?
Toys.
Whatever.
Toys.
Well, for children, they're toys. For grown men and women and hey, and anybody else that buys action figures.
Shut up and take my money.
Yes, thank you. I'm gonna buy it just for my nieces and my goddaughter. I'll buy a few of them and just here, run around with Mando and have fun, because I think that
now, as a fair point,
Star Wars fans is better.
Now, as a fair point, those 12-inch action figures are going to be at a price point of about $80 a pop. So just be careful on your wallet, brother.
I make good money. I'll be fine.
Fair enough. Charlie, what do you think?
That was really hesitant and kind of a lie, but still.
Charlie, what do you think?
On the subject of shut up and take my money, I am extremely excited. I sincerely hope this happens. I hope that there's a Black Series line of Bad Batch helmets, because I need all of them all at once. Please and thank you.
on that, Charlie, I'm going to say something. I like buying Black Series helmets. Are they a little overpriced for the quality? Yes.
No.
Well, what? Never.
No.
And I'm not knocking Hasbro on that because they do, like, I have Poe Dameron's helmet and I love it to death. That was the coolest thing I've ever purchased, was that helmet so far, other than like my Jedi Order flag or my little porg sitting next to me. Dave. I love Dave. But it will be overpriced probably, but Hasbro, since they started doing the helmet line, has improved steadily. Like, it's not even a steadily, like every time they get something negative on the review for it, they'll go in, look at it, dissect it, and improve it or add something new to it. Like if you look at the Luke Skywalker helmet, it is 10 times better than Poe Dameron's helmet. For the listeners,
I have it. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's just a huge. I think Hasbro is really good on taking the criticism and actually listening to their consumers.
I mean, the more Star Wars they make, the more Hasbro there is. So I'm not complaining.
Nope.
Now, if only the directors and writers and Kathleen Kennedy's were more like Hasbro.
Oh, no.
No, we're not getting into this again.
No.
Do we have anything else on action figures or games or rumors and news?
Now, this isn't so much rumors or news, but I was trying to find it just now, but I couldn't find it. There is a guy on TikTok, and I seen his video yesterday. I thought I saved it, but he has an extendable. It's a self-retracting lightsaber pike. And it was dope. And it goes up and down by itself. It's all electronic. I was looking at his TikTok and they were fighting with it and showing it. And I was like, dude, this is so dope, but I can't find it, so I can't give him credit on who it is.
Did you forward that message to Trey?
No, I didn't forward it to nobody. I found it yesterday and I seen it and I saved the video because I wanted to talk about it. Like, dude, this is dope. I ain't never seen nothing like this. It's like a full-size pike, and then the lightsaber, and it's like regular size. It's not.
Did he make it himself?
I don't know if he did. I don't know. I just kind of watched the video and I saved it because I was gonna watch it again. I was gonna bring it up on here, and now I can't find it. For some reason, it didn't save, so I don't know what.
That's sick though. Keep it up, dude. Whoever you be.
Yeah, whoever you are, dude, send me one of those.
Please.
Ditto.
All right. So, anything else on the news, rumors, action figure? CJ's holding up his hand again.
I know I threw this at Garrison. I wasn't sure if Garrison was going to pull it up because it is a rumor. It is all speculation.
Allegedly.
Yes, allegedly. I'm going to clearly say this. That's No Moon Studios could be developing a few of the Star Wars games that EA may not have control over anymore.
Such as?
And allegedly, like Battlefront, Jedi Fallen Order. If this is true, no, that's over.
What?
That's over.
There was a rumor way back when that there might have been a 3. I didn't know if that was still going to be a thing.
No, once Disney bought that, they kind of just stopped with it. That's why Sam Witwer went from being a voice actor in video games and motion cap to being Maul in Clone Wars, because they were done with him and that storyline in The Force Unleashed. Fun fact. Sorry, I'm a huge Sam Witwer fan. Can't help that. But it's just an allegedly thing. That's Stone Moon Studios. They are really, really good with some things, and they are kind of botchy with some other things. But as a new studio, as something that focuses solely on Star Wars, like short films and gaming and stuff like that, I could see them, if they got the right funding, the right backing, and the right support, they could be really, really detrimental to the Star Wars video game universe.
That's fair. Thank you, sir.
They're a young, fresh studio from what I've seen so far. They got a lot of young talent, or not. I guess not young talent. They have a lot of talent from people who have come from other studios, so they have experience. There's not much of a track record. So if the rumor does turn out to be true, I'd be curious to see how it works out.
There was something that I wanted to bring up that kind of goes back to the Bad Batch a little bit, and something that you brought up, Mark, was when he made that statement about I didn't teach them everything, when Gregor said that. Actually, on comicbook.com, they actually brought that up, and they said we kind of got a review of why the stormtroopers are so bad. Their aim sucks so bad, and they're just not good soldiers, because it's kind of explained there that they just weren't trained very well because Gregor didn't train them to take his position.
So I was right. I was asleep.
So comicbooks.com actually put out a whole report about planning exactly why the stormtroopers are such bad shots and such bad, because the clones were not actually training them the way that they were trained. So these are just average people that's in stormtrooper armor, just trying to.
So that kind of makes sense. Hunter's comment about the fact that the stormtroopers are an unlimited resource, where there are only so many clone troopers. So that makes sense. CJ, last word here, brother. Then we're going to move on to Charlie kicking our tails today.
I want to pop off of what Kyle said with that. The first round of clones that were trained by Jango Fett.
Oh, it wasn't like he was any good. Come on, dude.
Funny. If you think about this, Rex was a part of that first kind of go at with the clones. Like Omega says in the Bad Batch, you're a Gen 1. That's why we see a lot of Rex being, the that he is. But on top of that, if we think about this, is Gregor a Gen 1? We didn't get to see that. Like Omega be like, oh, look, you're a Gen 1. If he is a Gen 1 and he did grow up in being trained by Jango Fett, who trained the first wave of clones as Mandalorians. Like he literally trained them in a Mandalorian fashion. Where
this is before he went through his Highlander moment, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Just think, if he was trained like that, you wouldn't want to train civilians like you were taught by, Jango, because that would make them good. You don't want good stormtroopers. Stormtroopers are known for being bad.
So just to kind of extrapolate what you're saying there, it's a lot of reason why our Asian American brethren don't like teaching the martial arts to Gaijin, because it's for them and not for the common person.
At least that's the way it was back in the day when Bruce Lee got in trouble for training people in America.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's fair. That's fair.
Thank you, Kyle, for saying that, because I was about to say the same thing.
I think it could be like, you got these clones who are like literally clones of Jango Fett. Like they are physical specimens that like are bred for war. Meanwhile, like he's training like recruits and he's like, these are the soldiers I got to work with. Like this is the potential I have. Like, yeah, it's not worth training them like everything that I know.
That's fair. It's fair. Charlie, anything there?
No.
Okay. All right. Well,
I want to say one more thing. And I got this popped up on my beautiful news feed.
On your Rex.
Yes, it's actually about Rex. So thank you for calling me out once again. About my
I'm just glad you're awake today, dude.
Ha ha ha. Lots of jokes. I've been here for the last 2 weeks. I've been awake.
Oh, fair enough.
But did anybody see that George Lucas confirmed that Rex was at the Battle of Endor? This is really old, but he confirmed.
Yeah, that's been a thing. He's the old dude outside the bunker with the big thick beard.
So think about this. He was Anakin Skywalker's right-hand man. He watched Anakin Skywalker grow as a Jedi, and he watched Anakin get burned at the end of the Battle of Endor. How would you feel as a clone, a soldier that has fought through all those battles and has learned all those things, to watch the man that you idolized, respected, and fought and would die for?
I want you to hold on to that, and after Bad Batch wraps up, let's circle back to that, because that is a longer than a 30-second discussion. Hold on to that.
I just saw that and I had to pull it up because I watched it earlier.
We can summarize it really, really fast. He was Darth Vader then. He wasn't Anakin Skywalker no more. Screw Darth Vader. That dude killed like half the galaxy. They don't care.
Rex didn't know that. Nobody knows that except for Luke, Leia, and
exactly. So why would he be concerned? Why would he be concerned about Darth Vader burning?
No. The thing is why are they burning? Like, Luke had to explain something about that. Like, we're just burning a random body on Endor.
No, they were burning Darth Vader's body on Endor. They were making sure that he was dead. That's all anybody cared about, is that he is dead. I want an
explanation now, because I want to know if that's what Luke said, or Luke's like, this is my father, and like kind of white-lied it and was like, yeah, he was in captivity.
This is the thing. Only person that Luke told, if you go back to the Legends books and stuff after that, only person that knew that Darth Vader was Anakin Skywalker was him and Leia, and probably Han. He didn't tell everybody else. It's not something you go brag, my dad is Darth Vader. You don't go brag that to everybody.
That's not, because people would hate you.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, what?
Does anybody else got anything? Everybody's shaking their head. Garrison, you ready to get your butt kicked?
Oh.
Yep, I got my Google ready. I'm just kidding.
My phone's right in front of me. We good.
CJ, you ready for this?
Yeah, let's get it.
For our podcast listeners, everybody's got their phones out except me. All right, everybody, it is now time for Charlie's Impossible Quiz. And now, one thing I want to just go ahead and say before everybody starts popping off, Charlie has a new phrase, and she is the banhammer. Do you remember what your phrase is, Charlie?
I do remember what my phrase is.
All right, cool
now.
deal. And she said this is going to be a lightning round. For some reason, I don't know.
It's going to be a little bit quickfire because the questions I had originally written for this episode we're not using until next week. So, are you ready?
Yeah.
Ready.
Make sure everybody raises your hands.
When Han Solo is being made into a roast in Return of the Jedi, what's the name of the Ewok that's in charge of that?
I thought you said these was going to be easy. I don't know the name of none of the Ewoks.
Mark?
I'm just going to go with Wicket because he's the only Ewok I know.
No.
Okay.
Anybody?
No. I don't know.
Logray.
Who?
His name is Logray.
No, Green. Those were Thrawn's bodies enforcers.
Yeah, that's sad. I thought these were going to be easy. I don't know anything about Ewoks.
Lando Calrissian's operation on Cloud City mines what type of gas? Mark?
Tabana.
Yes.
Well done.
What does ATAT stand for? Mark?
All-terrain armored transport.
Yes, it does. What's the species of the diminutive workers on Cloud City who helped freeze Han Solo in carbonite? Mark?
They are Ugnaughts.
Yes, they are.
Jeez Louise. He's killing it, dude.
Complete the quote. The blank wastes are not to be traveled lightly. CJ?
The gentleman's... I don't know.
No.
It's not gentleman.
You're close. Phonetically, you're close. No.
Not men.
The Jundland wastes are not to be traveled lightly.
Yeah.
How many engines on an X-Wing?
2.
No.
What?
Mark?
4.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they separate. That don't.
Wait, hold on. Is it?
I have
Are we
spoken.
talking about the new one?
I have
Fine.
What's the name of Princess Leia's adoptive mother? Mark?
Queen Organa.
I need her first name.
Either.
Oh.
I don't remember.
Brea Organa.
Who?
Brea?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a little close to Leia, but that's fine.
Which Star Wars movie was the first to be shot entirely with high-definition cameras without using traditional 35mm? Kyle?
The Empire Strikes Back. Return of the Jedi.
No, wrong on both counts.
Phantom Menace.
He's just going to go through all of them.
Phantom Menace.
No.
Dang it.
Jay?
What?
Revenge of the Sith.
No. Mark?
Attack of the Clones.
Yes.
The hell?
I love that we completely skipped that one.
Okay, my thing is this: I don't know how accurate.
I have spoken. What do Han and Luke ride in the snow on Hoth? Mark?
Tauntauns.
Where does Yoda live?
Dagobah.
Yes. Who ordered the creation of the clones? Mark.
Sifo-Dyas.
Okay, there we go. I'm done. I'm done.
Just,
You know
just
what,
so
Mark?
the listeners
I'm done.
know, others were raising their hands. He was just
I will
wickedly
admit,
fast. Okay.
Everybody else was raising their hands.
Mark being an old guy, he is really, really quick.
Yeah, he's got a quick draw kind of thing. He looked like the Bad Batch when they wanted Omega.
I think there's a lag on everybody else's audio. That's what it was.
I also wish to mention that at the beginning of this recording, Mark explicitly said to me that he would be terrible at this quick fire round and he would get none of these questions right. So I
was expecting your usuals.
Honestly, you have no idea how hard the questions are for next week. I just can't use any of them because we didn't have the right guest. I sincerely hope your friend feels better soon.
Yes, thoughts and prayers, Jordan.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys get off easy this week. It's fine. I tally up the scores, but I think Mark won.
Oh yeah.
Actually, no. Wait, we want to say that Charlie has won because of the phrase "I have spoken." That takes the cake. that trumps all. That's awesome.
And let me say what I was going to say. I don't know if that is completely correct because George was a 35mm person. He believed in shooting in 35mm film. And all the movies that he directed were supposed to be shot in 35mm. So I don't know how true that is.
Charlie just yelled all up in Kyle's face.
She has spoken
to me. Why is she so mean to me?
I want to circle. I know that we're right here at the finish, and everybody, thank y'all for listening. There's one thing I want to circle back real quick in Legends, just a brief feeling that I got watching this Bad Batch episode. Whenever Tech and Echo and Hunter were walking up and seeing the mountain that the Empire had a secret base in, anybody that has read any of the Legends novels, did anybody think Mount Tantus, where the Empire had a secret storehouse?
You know, when they said that there wasn't no base and then there was a base on there and that everything played out, I couldn't remember the name of it, but I was thinking that same thing. Like, wait a minute, I've read this or I've heard this before. So I was on the same page. I just couldn't remember the name of it.
Y'all, this has been really fun. Does anybody have anything else before we peace out?
No.
Garrison's got something. What you got, G Money?
No. I'm just saying, don't say it. Let's just end the episode without saying it, please.
Okay.
What?
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies.
Say what? I couldn't help it. I'm sorry. I knew it.
John was on board. I was like, just don't say it. Let's just end the episode nice and.
Ladies and gentlemen, and for Kyle, all the other alphabet people, which we want to be respectful with this. That's just Kyle's phrasing. He's special. We recognize he's special. Thank you all for listening to another episode of Lightsaber Radio. If you like us, hit us up on our socials. If you'd like to be a guest and try out Charlie's Impossible Quiz, she will tailor it evidently directly for you. Mm-hmm. We want to hear from you. Thank you for all of your positive feedback. Thank you for all of the feedback about things that we could improve. We are trying very hard for you, the listener. Have an amazing week, and as always, may the Force be with you.
Thank you for tuning into LSR. If you enjoyed the show, consider subscribing so you can be notified when new episodes are released. If you would like to be a guest on the show or just want to give us some feedback, feel free to email us. You can also reach out to us on all major social media platforms. They're linked in the show notes below. Lightsaber Radio is produced by Pick Film Media and is a Swaycast original, starring Charlie Harwood, Garrison Turcott, CJ Elliott, and Carl McDaniel. And don't forget to join us next time for more adventures in a galaxy far, far away.